I'm going to talk to you about 3 things that helped me get through the COVID restrictions. And one of the biggest things was overcoming discomfort. So my plans got squashed in March when this thing went down, and I wasn't able to do any more traveling. And I had plans to go to New Zealand, and my flight got canceled, and just a lot of things that went on with that I don't need to discuss. But it was a very distracting time for me, and I went down the rabbit hole looking for answers, and I got really just a little bit depressed, I guess, and I had a lot of anxiety, and so I needed to find a solution for all that. So I don't do any drinking, I don't take drugs or any of these things, so my only outlet really that I use primarily is exercise. So while the gyms are closed, I still had to find a way to stay in shape. And in these hot temperatures that I was in, it made it really difficult to get outside during the day. So I had to do things really early in the morning or late at night. And so getting through that disruptiveness and looking around at people wearing masks, and then playgrounds are being taped off so you couldn't go in and use the equipment. So I just used my bicycle and I did some stuff with bands, and it worked out really well for the time being. But I still had myself to deal with when I wasn't exercising. So what I ended up doing is finding something positive to focus on. So I found that I had a ton of notes that I left behind here. A lot of my stuff I sent to New Zealand, and I did end up leaving my collection of notes of fitness and exercise and mindfulness stuff that I've been writing about and collecting for over 10 years. So I decided to dive into that, and it created something huge. It created a project that I never thought would, I'd really be doing. But it came out to be a very positive thing for me to focus on, and it really got my thinker going. But what I'm saying is it gave me something like a purpose. And during these times, we all need a purpose. And if you don't have that, then you end up drowning yourself in Netflix or YouTube or video games, or just getting involved in social media too much, or watching the news, and that stuff is all negative, or the news is all negative, the media. And social media can be too. I mean, it depends on what you're focusing on, what you're paying attention to. But that leads me to also developing self-awareness. When you just start going within yourself, you really feel like you can pull out things about you that you didn't know was a big issue. So you can, if you have enough self-awareness, you can tackle that, and you can figure out hey, what is the things I need to work on to make myself stronger, or to develop more discipline or responsibility, or what are my interests? Do I have other interests? Where's my creative mind going? What can I explore? So these are the things that kind of went through, but also it was the things that I was not appreciating before, like my family, my food. I wasn't appreciating the little things, because I was so busy before traveling around and doing these things, and not really taking into consideration what I already had. So it did give me that time to develop that sort of, self-awareness of my environment. And even though it was uncomfortable and I wanted to, be out, I wanted to be interacting and socializing, going to my coffee shops and working there, I just, I still found a way to feel better through appreciation, and then being grateful for the things that were working out for me, or have worked out for me, or the things that I have going, for me, and the possibilities. So if we don't think about the possibilities that are out there that we can do, you're not looking forward, and you're just staying, looking backward, and you're thinking about being a victim of all these circumstances, then you're just gonna spiral downward, and you're not going to progress. So when you focus on progression, then you'll put those things behind that have been weighing you down, these bad habits or bad thoughts, or all this negativity. You don't want to think about being a victim of anything. You have to be the hero of your journey. So that was a big plus for me. And one thing that I did go through with centering myself is I decided to go through Ramadan, and that was in April and May. And I wanted to do something that I've never done before, and I can tell you it was a very powerful experience for me. I was able to use some of my discomfort and let go of it by focusing on the higher power. And I learned to appreciate the sunset, and I learned to appreciate my food, because you go all day long and you don't have food or water, and then you're just waiting for that sun to come up or to go down where you can eat your food and drink some water. And it's like, wow, I really that was a really big thing, because being a bodybuilder, I've never given up my food or my water all day long. It was several hours, and it did give you a lot of time to reflect on things. And big thing was the discomfort. It's like, wow, this sucks, because I really want a cup of tea, or just simple as that. And you can't go there. But there's a reason for it. It's, all of this leads to appreciation. And, and when you connect to something higher than yourself, then you're able to do these things and get through them and persevere. And so I find that by having faith is an important mechanism for me in order to push through difficult times. And it took a lot of this. It took this time for me to really dive in and get deep within myself and understand these things and really appreciate them and nurture them. And so, so that's really about the size of it all. I found peace through this situation, because I found solutions instead of just feeling sorry for myself, or looking at what's not going right, or the circumstances, and blaming people or a system, or all these things. There's a lot of things that don't make me happy about what I see and what I'm hearing, but at the same time, I know the one thing I can control is myself and my own mind, and you can do the same and just keep thinking outside of the box. We're in a bubble, and so think outside of that. Pop it. But that's really what I wanted to share with you today, and I hope you got something good from it. And it's just fun to sit here and discuss things and be authentic and help people however I can. But just don't stop growing. Just keep pushing through, and you'll be okay. All right. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to sharing more. So please like and subscribe, and leave comments if you will, and then I'll get back to you if I can as soon as possible. So stay well, and as always, stay strong. I got to do that every time.